Hello guys, Crudless here, and welcome back to the World of Warcraft. Now, I've previously made a bunch of these videos about World of Warcraft leveling that a couple of you guys watched, and I'm really humbled by the fact that you did. Man, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sticking around if you watched this video as well. This is going to be our journey into the World of Warcraft as we know it, and the way some of you maybe don't know the World of Warcraft. It's going to be a playthrough. I've had this thing where I've watched a lot of people do a lot of these leveling videos, guides, gold making guides, and you know, auction house videos, how to make money, how to make gold farm stuff. During that time, I always wanted those guys to make a video where they just level through the game, quite similar to the way other players play through a single-player game. Sort of a way of a let's play walkthrough-ish guide. I know a couple of other YouTubers have done this, and I watched through many of those playthroughs because I just love this game so very much. And with these videos, I intend to do just that. I intend to go through the whole game. Well, that's my goal anyway. I doubt I'll be able to make it through all the quest lines, every dungeon, all of that stuff. I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best, and if you guys support me, then I know we can do it together. So the idea here is to start off with the perspective of the Souls games that I've done with Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and upcoming Dark Souls 2. The way that a lot of the lore in World of Warcraft isn't really presented well through the game. And a lot of the stories are hidden away in books, in quest lines that people skip through, in locations. Basically, the whole lore and identity of the story of World of Warcraft is quite locked away from the people that regularly play the game. And luckily, there are YouTubers like Noble and other lore knowledgeable individuals who drag this lore out from the deepest reaches of the shadows of Blizzard's somehow deranged minds. Well, we are going to go through this from the start. I'm going to start out by leveling a character. His name is going to be Throx, and he's going to be a shaman. He's going to be an Orc Shaman. And we're going to start out with orcs. We're going to start out in Durotar by leveling this orc up through all the starting quests in the starting area of the orcs. And then we're going to move on to the other races and take a look at all of their stories. That's going to be the start. And then I think I'm going to make it like this. I'm going to make it so that you guys can vote on which characters you want to see further in the game. Okay, so that's going to be fun. At least I hope it will, if enough people tune in. And along the way, I'll be talking a lot about World of Warcraft in general, about, you know, stuff about the game, stuff about the lore, stuff about everything. I'm going to cover everything. And I'm also going to talk about, you know, random stuff with relations to gaming and all that good jazz. So we are going to start off by jumping right in to this character I created previously. Quite a green yellow orc. His name is Throx, and he'll be joining us in a couple of seconds. First off, we're going to jump in and watch the intro cinematic for the orcs.
The Great Cataclysm has shattered more than just the world. War Chief Thrall, arguably the most powerful living shaman, has left his people behind so that he might stop the cataclysm at its source. Yet, in his absence, the orc champion Garrosh Hellscream has become the Horde's new war chief. Though popular amongst the orcs for his victories against the Lich King, Garrosh's reckless leadership has begun to cause a rift between himself and the other leaders of the Horde. With Durotar's natural resources nearly depleted, Garrosh seeks to take whatever his people need to survive, regardless of who stands in his way. A dangerous new era for the Horde has dawned, and it falls to brave orcs like you to uphold the will of the new war chief and assure the dominance of your people.
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to fix all the add-ons and stuff like that. I'm not going to put that in this video. I'm going to make a separate video talking about all the add-ons I'm going to use, how I set up my user interface and stuff like that. So I'll see you guys after a quick cut, okay? Much better. So, in the introduction cinematic, we heard a story being told to us by some narrator, and he told us that something about a guy named Thrall, who was the mightiest shaman, and he also mentioned the warrior Garrosh, who is known as Garrosh Hellscream, who's currently leading the horde when we start out in this this starting area right here. And he was recognized as a great warrior after a battle against a Lich King. We don't know about him either, and we start out here trying to make the world a better place for the orcs. And Garrosh took over after Thrall decided he was a better suited leader for the horde. So in World of Warcraft, there are a couple of things I want to explain now first. If you want to skip a little further into the video, there will be some action, but we'll start off with a little conversation about basically the origins of our character's story. So in World of Warcraft, there are two factions. There is the Alliance and the Horde, and the orcs are obviously a part of the Horde. And the Horde is currently it's led by a troll named Vol'jin, but previously it wasn't originally a Horde on another planet. That's another story for a later time. But this current Horde was created by Thrall, and Thrall, as mentioned, is perhaps the mightiest shaman in all of the World of Warcraft. And after him came Garrosh as a war chief, but he was later disposed of his title and his role, as we'll see through the playthrough of the storyline. But the timelines in World of Warcraft are a bit difficult to assess, because you kind of start out here, and currently we are playing in what is known as Cataclysm. And Cataclysm was an expansion to World of Warcraft, which basically remade the original game from back in 2004. This game is 11 years old, by the way, when I'm playing this. It looks kind of nice, though, even though the trees kind of have a little bit of issues with their textures and their, I guess, polygons. But oh well. Cataclysm was introduced as an expansion to revamp the old content of the world, and basically it removed what is known as vanilla WoW, the old quest lines and all of that stuff, and even it reworked a lot of the textures and how the world was formed. So because of that, we can't really go back to the original storyline if you don't play on private servers and stuff, and we won't do that. So the story starts out here in Durotar, in Cataclysm. So a storyline jumps right into about 2009, I believe. So that's 5 years after the original storyline in World of Warcraft. When you reach level 60, because this game is kind of segmented into levels to impede our progress and gate different parts of the world, we'll go back in time, technically, back to a storyline that happened 2 expansions before this one, which we're currently in, and then we'll jump to another one which happened also before this one. So it's quite a bit of a weird way to tell your story, but I guess that's the only way Blizzard can do this while still being economically feasible. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to level through the Cataclysm zones, and then we're going to go back in time to check out the other expansions. We are starting out here in Durotar. Let's start out with the whole world map first, though. This is the world known as Azeroth, and we are currently here on the continent of Kalimdor. So we have Kalimdor here to the west, we have Pandaria to the south, Eastern Kingdoms in the east, obviously, and Northrend in the north. Yeah, pretty easy to get those different names there. And in the middle we have the Maelstrom, and we also have some smaller continents some aren't even shown here. We also have some other worlds here called Outland and Draenor. Interesting, we'll see those eventually as well. But yeah, Azeroth is the entire world of Warcraft is known as Azeroth, and there's also a continent. Well, the southern part of Eastern Kingdoms is also known as Azeroth, so that caused a bit of confusion to a lot of people. But we are starting out here in Kalimdor, and currently there are the different continents are separated into a lot of locations, these areas here, and they all have their different storylines and quests. And this one is called Durotar, and as you can see, it's meant for level 1 to 10. And Durotar, we have this gray area around here, but orange here. That's because we only visited this Valley of Trials area. The rest will unlock as we go along. And Durotar was named after the Thrall, who we heard about before. Thrall's father, his name is Yurzan, and basically Thrall came here after some events that happened in Warcraft 3. I will talk about these later on, but he came here to Durotar. He founded a city and a new place for this horde he created, a new home for the orcs and a few different other races as well. And we're starting out here. I'm using the add-on storyline, so we'll get us some more storyline from Kaltunk. I've been contemplating whether I should do voices. Wow! My add-on isn't on. Okay, let's turn that one on. So what I was saying was that I've been contemplating whether I should do the voices for these guys or not, because a lot of the storyline is delivered through these quests, indicated by the yellow exclamation point over these guys' heads. Yeah. So when I open this text here, you can see that there is a text line here. This is because of the add-on. Usually just there is like this wall of text to the left of the screen here that you could read in your quest log. But yeah, this is a really nice add-on that kind of suits the way of storyline that I want to proceed through the game with. So finally, you are of age, Throx, and of age to battle in the name of the Horde, to conquer for the glory of the War Chief. Yes. Kaltung looks you over. You will do nicely. No doubt you wish to find a great dragon or demon and strangle it with your bare hands, but perhaps it would be wise to start on something less dangerous. Kaltung laughs. Haha. Report to Kornek. He should be able to assign a task better suited to a young shaman. You will find him seated at the fire behind me.
Go forth to victory.
Usually it'll take you a lot of time if you're going to read through all the quest lines in this game. But this quest line, this playthrough isn't meant to be a quick one. As you can see here, there is a collection tab with all my mounts. These are basically ways to proceed through traveling in the world quicker. We also have pets and toys, but here we have heirlooms. I could be using these. These will give me bonus experience, which will make leveling quicker. We get experience by completing these quests and killing monsters, basically. So I won't be using those. I'll be taking my time, and we're going to do this slowly. And just take your time and talk a lot. That's basically my goal with this. So let's have a chat with Gornek here. Another one of Kaltung's recruits. Sorry state of affairs we find ourselves in. If this is the best the Horde can produce. Shut up, mate. No matter. By the time we think you're ready to leave the valley, you'll be a proud warrior of the Horde. The first order of business will be to put a little strength in your backbone. I could send you out into the barrens to hunt Kodo, but well, in all honesty, you're more useful to us alive than dead. I believe you'll be more of use to us slaughtering the boars you'll find in the farm to the north and northeast of here. So this doesn't give us any indication to the storyline at all. It just sends us out to kill boars, and a lot of the quest lines in World of Warcraft are like this. To be honest, they just tell you to do a menial task. They aren't really quests. They're more like, I guess, tasks or duties that you have to fulfill to progress through the storyline. So he told us to kill some mottled boars, as you can see up here on the quest line. I also have this quest helper here that will basically tell us the ideal route we should take, and an arrow here showing us the location and how far we are away from the target. It'll also display this little area on the map here that we can see the enemies in. So we are a shaman. This entails that we have some special powers. We can cast lightning at enemies starting out, so that's pretty cool. Bolts of lightning going on to these enemies here, and we deal a couple of damage to them, which is nice. And once we kill enemies, we can loot them, and also quest lines, check off like this. And if you press shift, you can basically auto loot everything that is inside here. We get some tough jerky, a healing item. If I shift click, then I will automatically loot everything inside the inside the corpse. But to make everything auto loot automatically, you can just select auto loot here in your controls menu, and we are going to do that. So it'll make everything a little bit more quicker. So shamans are the spellcasters of the Horde. Well, they were unique to the Horde faction during vanilla WoW, and they started out as orcs on the planet Draenor, which we saw on the map, if you could tell. So these shaman or shamans, it's shamans, I believe, in plural. They started out as the orcs' guidance counselors, one could say. They were sort of a spiritual connection between the orcs and the world. And they are able to communicate with different aspects of the world, what is known as the elementals, the elements. So in World of Warcraft, there are 4 or 5 elements that the orcs can talk to. There is earth, fire, water, and air, like in the elements we know, and there's also the elements of the wild, which is a bit more interesting. Not bad, Throx. But don't let it get to your head. You'll find tougher than boars in your career, hopefully. Nonetheless, you've proven yourself well, and your next trial will be against a considerably more dangerous opponent. You'll need some extra protection. Oh, thank you. So we get this belt here, boar hide belt, probably fashioned from the boars we just killed. And then we got a level as well, level 2, and we got some reputation with Orgrimmar. I'll talk about that later on. You're not just another grunt. You seem to be a serious shaman. That's good to know. Good, because that's exactly what I need. Try not to let the word out, since I don't want to cause panic. But there have been reports of more humans nearby. Oh, humans, you say? This is an egregious betrayal of the peace that we negotiated with the miserable Jaina Proudmoore. We can't allow humans here in Durotar, and especially not here in the valley. You will find them to the south. Slay them quickly before their numbers increase any more. Oh yes. So the Northwatch scouts here. Oh, why won't this disappear? I guess he has another quest for us. Ah, while you were gone, a parchment came for you, Throx. Read it when you have time. If I'm not mistaken, it came from the shaman trainer Shikrik. She would have word with you when you're ready. So we have a shaman trainer who wants to talk to us, and we also have some Northwatch scouts to take care of, because they have invaded the valley. And we'll see some these are obviously part of the alliance because they are humans, and these are we kind of see a mirror of this when you do the human starting quests. We see some orcs invading the human starting zone, even though they are technically different orcs from the ones we can play as. So these Northwatch scouts were sent by a woman named Jaina Proudmoore, which he cursed. He called her, she called her the miserable Jaina Proudmoore. And Jaina, well, some people call her miserable, others do not. She is a really, really powerful mage, and one of the central characters of Warcraft 3. And also World of Warcraft, I would say. She is... we've heard about the Lich King, which in the introduction video. Well, she is really essential for the story of the Lich King, one could say. One could say they have been lovers in a different time and age and space. Yeah. But yeah, these guys, they don't really drop anything for us. We could probably put on our belt that we got. I'm using this bag add-on, by the way, just to make the bags pretty much easier. Bags, they handle the inventory. All the stuff you get are put into one space here. As you can see, these jerkies, though, they go into one slot because they are so they stack, as they say. So we can have a stack up to, I think it's about 20 with food. Perhaps it has been increased lately. So yeah, they take up one space in this inventory, and there are some more slots here that we can fill with bigger containers, which is nice. So yeah, we also have a couple of other things that we need to take care of or describe here. We have some stats, the attributes. These are really, really essential to the game. So, as a shaman, we could do two types of attacks. We could do spell casts, like we're doing now by pressing this lightning bolt, or we could go into what is known as melee. And melee, that basically involves hitting your enemy with your weapon, which is, you do it by just right-clicking on the enemy. And yeah, as you can see, we do 9 damage. It goes a little bit faster to kill them with spells. So since we don't really have any abilities for meleeing, I don't believe we have one yet. We get a spell called Primal Strike, an instant weapon strike that causes 10 physical damage. We'll get that when we reach level 3, which we are about halfway there now. And as you can see, there are some attributes here. There are strength, agility, intellect, and stamina. And the stamina basically increases our health, intellect increases our spell power, and the amount of mana we have. So we have this bar here is our health, and this bar underneath is our mana. And we also have some agility, which increases attack power for a shaman. We also have strength, which also increases attack power, but it increases our attack power by 0 since we are a shaman, and shaman only gets bonuses from agility, intellect, and stamina, basically. So strength, pretty much worthless to us, at least at this point of the game. So yeah, let's turn this quest in, though, and see what Gornik has to say to us. Executed with quickness and discretion, or job well done. You get Scout Hunter vest. I must send you back into the fields again, Shaman. You will find large number of scorpids north of here. Bring me 8 of their tails. The antidote for their sting is actually made from venom extracted from their stingers. We keep large quantities of antidote for scorpid venom on hand to heal the young bloods like you. But I'm sure you won't be needing any of that, will you? Yeah. So another fetch quest, basically telling us to go and kill some scorpids, basically huge-ass scorpions.
Speak, friend.
It sure gets hot out there in the Valley of Trials. It sure does. If only I had some cactus apples, I could make my famous cactus apple surprise. Nothing cools you off faster than a piece of that delicious treat. I'll tell you what, Throx. If you bring me 6 cactus apples, I'll make you a few portions of cactus apple surprise to take you with you on your adventures. If you're interested, you can find cactus apples growing near the cactus plants around here. Really exciting quests, man. Thank you. Let's put this on. This exciting big... Yeah, that armor looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Even though it looks like we're walking around in underwear. Need some new pants, man. But yes, now we have two of these fetch quests. And usually a good strategy in World of Warcraft is to basically gather up as many quests as you can and do them at the same time, because they are all over here in the same area. So you've arrived. I was beginning to wonder when you would show yourself. I sent a parchment some time ago. I wasn't sure if it had arrived. But enough chatter. Yeah, you're here because you have been chosen to lead the spiritual lives of our people. So get some shaman lore here, huh? You will be the conduit in which our ancestors communicate. You will have the powers of the elements at your beck and call. Sundering your enemies will be child's play. Healing your allies as easy as breathing, but not yet. First, you train. Oh, we got a level. As you grow in power by gaining levels, you will discover the power to use new abilities. The first you will discover on your journey is Primal Strike. We've heard about Primal Strike. Use it to deliver a strike with your weapon, infused with the power of the elements. It is time you learn and master your new skill. Practice using it on the training dummies outside the den. So, this one is usually added to automatically down here to your action bar, but I have some add-ons that basically limit this in a way that I have to drag them out myself. So I gotta be a little careful and be sure to check my spell book once in a while. We also have this guy, Foreman Thazril, but let's test out our Primal Strike. So now we have this move here with one kind of lazy animation, to be honest, since we're wielding a mace. We'll replace this spell pretty early on, though. So it's basically an instant strike dealing some additional damage. We gotta test this 3 times, and the cooldown is 7.5 seconds. That's kind of bad. But yeah, spells, if you can tell, this one doesn't have a cooldown, but this one does. Yeah, basically it means you can't just keep using the spell multiple times in a row. Notice also that the Horde, or the Orcs, basically have their own racial abilities. Like this one, Blood Fury, increases your melee attack power by 5 and your spell power by 5. So when we do that, we get this icon above our head and this icon here that lasts, and our hands are really red and bright. And they also have hardiness, which reduces duration of stun effects, and also they have some pet battle damage increase by 1%. Oh my god! It increases when you level up, though. So yeah, all the races have their own racial abilities. Very well. Now that you know how to speak with the elements, when did we learn to speak with the elements? By just using that move. We'll test your bonds with them. Got some new gear though. There we go. Nice looking gloves, matching our set. So the spirits have guided you to me. How may I be of service? You can't really do anything because previously in Vanilla WoW and the Burning Crusade, you needed these trainers to teach you spells. But now you basically just learn the spells as you go, so you don't have to go back every time to train at a trainer. Cursed peons! They work hard gathering lumber from the trees of the valley, but they're always taking naps. I need someone to help me help keep the peons in line. You look like the right orc for my task. Hey, here, take this blackjack and use it on any lazy peons you find sleeping on the job. A good smack will get them right back to work. Return the blackjack when you're done. Look for them underneath the trees in the valley. Lousy slacking peons. Oh yes, they are so slacking. As you can see over here, there is one sleeping, sleepy. This quest is really old. Most of these quests are basically new versions of the quests that were here when the game was originally out.
Just was resting eyes. Back to work now.
Good old peons. Good old peons. But yeah, wakes up target sleeping peon. So a good strategy I usually do when I do this area is to get all these 3 quests here, and then you can. I'm gonna use some casting spells. I don't want to go melee against these guys because they can poison me. I don't want to hit them. Well, one thing you can do is basically just use a couple of lightning bolts and then hit them in the face with the primal strike, I guess. Then I usually just gather up all of these quests and then I go on a journey around the wall here, and then we do them in order. So yeah, there has been a couple of changes since the early times of Vanilla WoW. I should probably talk a little bit about my history with this game. So World of Warcraft has been a big part of my life. From all the way back in 2000, and I started playing in 2005, I believe. So about 1 year after the game launched, I started playing during Vanilla, and I had a lot of fun with this game throughout the years. So I started out by playing as a hunter. That was the first class I created. I created a night elf hunter, and his name was Tikarion, because I thought that was an amazing name, and I felt really good about playing this game. I hadn't had any previous knowledge of what World of Warcraft was. I had played, well, I was blatant lie. I had played Warcraft 3, so I knew what Warcraft was about. I knew the story up to a certain point, and I loved to play as the Night Elf. I loved Illidan back in Warcraft 3. So I knew which class I wanted to, which race I wanted to play as. So I started out as a Night Elf, and I was pretty much amazed by the feeling when I logged on and saw the area of Teldrassil for the first time. I mean, I was blown away by how huge this place was. And I started leveling the hunter, used the bow, and I didn't really know that this guy woke up. Man, I wanted to hit you. Well, so here are the cactus plants, by the way. I looted one previously, but they look like this. And I was really amazed by how everything looked, how big everything was, and I really loved the fact that I hadn't really any knowledge of what lied beyond the horizon. Like, what is behind this huge wall of rocks? Is there anything here? Can I go there? Okay. I had this sense of exploration that really drove me towards playing the game. And after that, I leveled him to about level 10, did some starting quests, and then I went on to make a same character as this one. He was an Orc Shaman. And I remember this as well as any because I met a pal, a Tauren, who had run all the way from Mulgore over here to Durotar because he wanted to, I guess, start questing here for some reason. And he was very nice, and we got along, and we started leveling together. And then we explored a bit, and we found some humans up in a place we'll eventually go to. And we got killed so many times, and all my gear was broken, and I had a lot of problems repairing that because I didn't have any gold, any money at all. So that was fun. So those were my two first classes I started out with, and I also made a human warrior eventually. But my hunter was the first when I leveled to max level, and then I went on to level the shaman. And the shaman turned out to be a really, really cool character to play as in PvP. Basically, the competitive content of the game that was player versus player gameplay back in Vanilla WoW. Wow! So I did some. This was after Battlegrounds were introduced, by the way. So I did a lot of PvPing with that guy, and I got to. There were ranks back then, so you had. The ranks from 1 to 14, I believe. So the highest rank among the hordes were High Warlord. And then there were Warlord beneath that, and then we had Lieutenant General, and then General beneath that one. And I managed to get to Lieutenant General with my Shaman. So that was really, really a fun experience for me back then. Let's go turn in the quest with lazy peons, though.
What do you need?
No good lazy. Eh? Do you have my blackjack? Did you catch any peons sleeping on the job? Good, good. Maybe they'll think twice before slacking next time. Thanks for the help. I get some gold and some experience. or some gold. So the money in World of Warcraft is divided into gold, silver, and copper. So 100 copper is 1 silver, and 100 silver is 1 gold. Maybe Blizzard will introduce another one later on, maybe a platinum or something like that, to make the economy a little more bearable. There has been a huge inflation during the last couple of years with money. So 2 silver and 85 copper is really, it's barely anything. Nice carpets. I haven't realized these were here before. Galgar, have you finished collecting cactus apples? Yes, I have, mister. Wonderful, Throx. As promised, here is your cactus apple surprise, plus a little something extra.
May your blades
Ooh,
never
something
die.
extra. So we got these, and they have a pretty cool effect on them. They will basically give us a buff. When we eat these, we'll, if we spend more than 10 seconds eating them, as you can see up here, 14, 13, 12, we'll get an icon up here, indicating that we have... Come on. What? Where's the buff? Well, we were supposed to get a buff that increases our stamina by 2 for about 15 minutes. But we didn't get it. That's weird. Maybe I canceled it too early. I probably did. Yeah, I probably did. So, the carapace of a scorpid isn't so thick that the strength of a determined warrior will be deterred. I'm a shaman. I'm not a warrior. Oh well, shaman are technically elemental warriors, one could say. Strike strongly and without doubt, and the scorpids should prove easy prey. There is an important lesson that you must take away from fighting scorpids. The smallest or largest of opponents can still send you to your doom. In fierce combat, any number of things can prove your downfall. I have no more to teach you, Throx. You have done well. I will watch your progress with interest.
Go forth.
Thank you.
to
That was a
victory.
really nice compliment there. So now we have our amazing set, just lacking our boots, and then we would look pretty amazing. Let's see what Zuritha Fargaze has to say to us. I trust the Valley of Trials will teach you much, young shaman. I was sent to the valley to guide you, but I have discovered a growing taint here. One of the Burning Blade, a foul demon-worshipping cult, has made camp here in Valley of Trials. He skulks in a cave to the north, and his vile familiars have spilled from his mouth to cause havoc. As your first task with the Burning Blade, I bid you defeat these familiars, slay many. If you survive, return to me. So if you survive, I should return to you. That's nice to know. So yeah, the Burning Blade, you say. They have a pretty cool, interesting lore about them. I'll tell you that when we talk to Kanaga Earthcaller here. Amon, take a knee and hear me out. We got a problem. A good friend of mine, Hanazwa, has gone out into the valley and he hasn't returned. Last I seen, he was heading north with a scorpids hunt. Maybe you go take a look for him. The spirits be telling me that he's not well. Yeah, we should probably do that. By the way, I'm doing this horrible troll accent. I'm going to continue doing that. I might be doing like the orc accent later on. The orc accent. I guess they don't really have an accent. They have this growl in their voice. But yeah, the Burning Blade. The original Burning Blade used to be a clan. The orcs were originally from the planet known as Draenor. And here they lived in kind of tribal societies where the orcs formed a different clan of sorts. And eventually these clans were gathered to form a horde, the first horde from Durotar, and they invaded Azeroth. And this is basically going to be the story of the upcoming World of Warcraft movie, this whole invasion of the orcs. But before that, there was each of these clans had their own names. So there was the Frostwolf clan, there was the Burning Blade clan was one of them. There was the Storm Reavers, I believe. We have the Blackrock clan. We had lots of these different clans, and the Burning Blade was one of these clans. But this Burning Blade is not the same as the previous one. And here we have Hanazua. By the way, I'm just walking in circles here. Shaman, I thought I would die out here with none to know of it. While I was hunting my scorpids in the valley, I came across a particular vicious-looking one. Hurling myself at it, I managed to inflict a massive blow to its claw before I closed around my leg. I wasn't ready for its stinger though. It sliced down into my chest, cutting into my flesh and letting my blood. Please, you must kill the scorpid for me. My honor must be upheld. I fought it up on the plateau to the south. Thank you. He has another quest for us though, or we should turn in the quest. Hanazua groans in pain. That's the entire quest line. Come on. Come on. He groans in pain. But I guess you're supposed to deliver that one and then you get the other quest. So that's nice. But yeah. What was I saying again? So the Burning Blade, they were one of these clans. But this Burning Blade is not the same one as the one we are about to meet. So the second Burning Blade clan, they were an homage to the old Orcish clan. They've been doing some nasty business here in Durotar and in the Barrens, an area to the west, for a long while, all the way back to Vanilla WoW. And they were basically a clan of people, of both orcs and humans and everything. They were a kind of a cult they were under the demonic I guess influence from, I can't remember the name of the top of my head of the demon, but this demon had created this clan to basically destroy the relationship between the Horde and the Alliance. My father always said I would never amount to much, and here, lying beneath a tree as life seeps away, I'm afraid it looks like he was right. At least I wish to die knowing that my last enemy in my life lies dead. My blow was not enough to kill him, but looking at the damage I inflicted gives me some small measure of pride. This small measure will be all I have to sustain myself if I die, and in that light, in the short list of my life's accomplishment fills me with anger. Seeing the deed you have done for me steals my heart. I cannot fall so easily. I must endure. Come on, you can do it, Mr. Hanazuwa. But it remains that I cannot make the trek back to our settlement unassisted. Please, Thrax, return and tell Gornik of my situation. Perhaps he can help me. Thank God he doesn't want us to escort him back, because escort quests are the worst. They're the worst. Yeah, they are the worst. Trust me. Escort quests are the worst. But yeah, anyway, demonic influence to basically separate the or kind of influence the tension between the Horde and the Alliance. Because after the events of Warcraft 3, there was this tenuous peace between the Horde and the Alliance, and this is mentioned in the original World of Warcraft cinematic video. 10 years have passed since the mortal races banded together, blah blah blah. And basically there was this tenuous peace between the Horde and the Alliance because of they defeated what is known as the Burning Legions, the big bad guys of the game. But this Burning Blade cult, they basically tried to mess up this pact between the Horde and the Alliance by kind of inciting the different sides of both factions. So they tricked, like they sent humans to kill orcs in Durotar, and then they sent orcs to kill humans, and they instigated this war that almost led to, or this they instigated like a confrontation that almost led to a war, and it eventually erupted into the faction wars between the Horde and the Alliance, because they are always fighting, even though they're currently in the lore. Horde and the Alliance, they aren't really. They have kind of banded together as of this point in the storyline before Legion. So right now there isn't really much lore, like I guess much reason for the Horde and the Alliance to fight as of this point. So, but the fighting is there for the purpose of gameplay rather than the story currently, of course. So now we have done the Vile Familiars quest, and we have the the news of Hanazua's plight to Gornek. So we need to go back and turn those in. By the way, this first episode I will basically finish off this entire Valley of Trials, and then we'll go out into the next area in the next episode. But yeah, the orc starting quest comparatively to the other ones, the other races starting quests, I enjoy the orc starting quests a lot. They have kept them quite similar to the original ones back in World of Warcraft or in Vanilla WoW. This farmer here having a lot of fun. Hello, Locktub. I guess it was his name Locktub? Really? Locktub. That's a joke for you guys, warlocks. So yeah.
Greetings.
You have done well, Throx. Everyone's saying I keep doing well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the comments. Although the vile familiars were merely pets of the darker powers within the Burning Blade, your success against them foretells greater deeds ahead. Yeah, that's nice. Through my divinations, I see that an item of power, a medallion, hides deep within the Burning Blade Coven, guarded by beasts and black magic. We must have it. For too long, these demon worshippers have defiled our homelands, cleansed the coven of its demonic taint by slaying the fell beasts and their leader. Return with this medallion as proof of your deed. Go, Throx, you will find the coven in the cave to the north. Ooh, getting exciting now. The plot thickens, and we got some boots. Yay! Do they have some blue in them? But our rest of our set is green. We're starting to look like a proper World of Warcraft character now. Looking like a rainbow. Throx, you are a despicable orc, almost said there. A dependable orc. Can I count on you for another task? Some time ago, I was surveying the cave to the north for minerals, and I left my favorite pick behind. When I later returned to retrieve it, I found the cave was filled with vicious beasts. Will you go into the cave of the Burning Blade Coven and get my pick? I left it in the chamber with waterfalls. My pick has a spell in it, so you can see it in the dark. Well, that's nice. So you won't have to worry about finding it. Just what's guarding it. That's good to know. And Gornek, he's happy to see us probably. He liked us previously. From your description of the beast, I believe that you must be speaking of Sarkoth. It is no wonder that Hanazua was overtaken by it. Aid will be dispatched to him immediately. Yay! Trouble yourself no more with Hanazua's plight. However, I must say that I am proud. I am most impressed to hear that you brought Sarkoth to death. It is a feat to be proud of, Throx. And that you would fight for a stranger's honor. While other tasks occupy your time, your own honor is heightened. So the orcs, we got some new gloves. And we got a bag as well, the dusty bag, another 6 slots for us. And these are blue, looking nice. So honor is a really important thing for the orcs. Not to be confused with reputation. We got some reputation every time you do a quest. Here we got some reputation with Orgrimmar, reputation with Dark Spear Trolls. And these are basically the factions of the game. You can see them here in your reputation bar next to your character, down here on the tab. And so you have all these factions here. We get into them eventually, but Orgrimmar, they are basically the orcs. Orgrimmar is the greatest city of the orcs and their capital, and it is named after the great orc and former companion, best friend of Durotar, Durotan, who Durotar is named after, and also sort of an uncle to Thrall. He was his teacher of the shamanic arts for a while. In addition to Drekthar, he gave him his armor after a battle when Thrall released all the orcs. That's a story for another time. But yeah, that's what Orgrimmar is named after. And Thrall also got his hammer in addition to his armor. So Thrall, really important character. Level 5 now. You don't have to kill these enemies. You can see they have this yellow icon above their head. That's basically their health bar. But also, since they are yellow, they are neutral enemies, so they don't aggro on you. Aggro is a term that refers to having their attention, their aggression towards you. So these are Fell Stalkers. They are demonic creatures, and the Vile Familiars are also demonic creatures, even though they look really silly. Kind of undated model there. Hello! But yeah. So here we have Thazril's pick. He had enchanted it with a light source. So orcs are really known for their use of magic. Orcs have a pretty rough history when it comes to demons, and magic is closely tied to the demons in World of Warcraft. But the shamanic arts they use magic, but not the same magic from the same source as demonic power. And there are also mages who draw their power from some other sources, like the arcane and fire. But mages are able to basically draw forth. Oh, here we have a Yarog Bane Shadow. That's the Burning Blade cult guy we need to kill. So mages are able to conjure spells out of nothingness. Basically, the energy of the world's the ley lines affect how powerful the spells are. But that's a thing for another time. But the orcs draw their power. Well, the shaman draw their power from the elements. And the elements, well, they were here in a time long, long ago. They've been here on the world, shaping the world since the world was created by the Titans. Now I'm mentioning all of these characters that you might not know about at all, but we'll get into them eventually because they are really essential to the plot of this game. Well, the lore of this game. The plot is really all over the place, but the lore is really cool. So, I need we get to kill these Fellstalkers. I almost forgot that we have to do this. This quest, I don't really think that this was part of the original quest line. I think we just had to find with the original quest line, I mean the one back in the vanilla WoW. I think we just had to find the medallion. So I haven't really been used to doing these after vanilla. But they're really a lot quicker now. They used to take, they used to take about an hour. Now we are about 40 minutes into the video. It's going to be quite long, but all of these videos will be quite long because the game is so huge, so I can't really split this up into 20-minute videos. That wouldn't be fair to you guys. No, it would not. So one more, and then we can use a special item to get back to to the base, or to the Valley of Trials. So as you can see, we have this item here. It's called a Hearthstone. Return you to Valley of Trials. So we can speak to an innkeeper in any inn, basically a place of rest in the entire game, and then we can set our Hearthstone to connect to that place, and we'll be able to teleport over there. So here we are back in the Valley of Trials. Really nice. Though it has a 30-minute cooldown. We can reduce this later as a shaman to about 15 minutes, which is really nice. Have you entered the Burning Blade Coven, Throx? Did you find my pick? Great, you got it! Thanks a lot, Throx. This is my favorite pick. Now, if my peons ever finish chopping down these trees, maybe we could find a nice cave to mine.
Go forth.
Yeah, ever the positive there. Is your task complete, Throx? You retrieved it. Well done. Your efforts within the Burning Blade Coven are key in rooting out this cult in the Valley of Trials, but I fear they have further aims in our land. We have not seen the end of them. Your trials against the Burning Blade are finished here in the valley, but I want you to report your findings. Go to the troll village of Senjin and seek out Master Gudrun. Senjin village is east of the valley, then right at the fork. Tell Gudrun of the Burning Blade that they have reached the Valley of Trials. Discovered from him if they have yet reached Senjin. Go, Throx, and be swift. I fear the evil found in the Burning Blade Coven is but the herald of a larger threat. Oh, yes, it is. The herald of a larger threat. So now I'm going to end the episode off. In the next episode, we will go into Master Gudrun in Senjin Village. We'll see if the threat is looming. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a pilot episode, so I guess the quality of this one will be lower than, well, perceived to be lower than the one in the upcoming episodes that are coming after this one. But I really want your feedback on this. Do you want me to do this? In what way would you recommend me to do it? Do you want to have more focus on me rambling? Do you want me to talk less? Do you want me to talk more about the lore? Do you want me to talk about the characters or the game mechanics? All that good stuff. What do you want? Leave a comment. And also, if you haven't checked out my Demon Souls and Dark Souls Let's Plays, they are really similar to this one, only they have me playing a little better. And those games are really similar to World of Warcraft, so if you haven't checked them out, then this is as good as time as any to do that. And wow, this gives me the big nostalgia. But I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you so much for watching this one, and we're saying goodbye to Throx for now. I almost wrote Throx there, but yeah. See you guys in episode 2 of World of Warcraft with me, Crudeless. Take care until then.